Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, bringing you the preview and everything else you need to know for Tottenham versus West Brom with special guest, my guy Charlie. How are you keeping?
Yeah, good, David, as always. Pleasure to be on your channel. And looking forward to a match preview of a game which we can hopefully win. You know what I mean? This is a must win. I don't even think I need to say much. But look, going to be an interesting preview, this one. As it says there, Jose Mourinho versus Big Sam, of course, Tottenham, West Brom. Yeah, look, David, as always, thanks for having me on.
No problem. It's a pleasure. I love doing these previews with you, Charlie. And if you're liking the content, make sure you smash that like, make sure you smash that subscribe. And big up to you out there, the Harris Army and everyone else that's tuned in. You've got me to 1K, but let's not stop here. Let's take it all the way to the top. Let's get to 5K by the end of this year. That's an achievable goal. And the Harris Army, you can spread the word of the Irish Hotspur. And also, just quickly, a couple of things. I was on Charlie's channel earlier on doing a preview. Make sure you get over there, check that out. Josh was also involved in the Spurs debate. So make sure you smash that like, smash that subscribe. Also, I was on Chris Cowlin's channel last night, as many of you know, of course. Make sure you get over there and you check that out. Get your input into the comment section below. And also put a like in it and put in a good word for the Irish Hotspur. And then also tomorrow you can catch me on Matty Hayes' channel, of course, doing the live watch-along for the West Brom game, going live about an hour before kickoff, where we'll be giving you live lineups and everything else. And also, for this video, make sure you get your comments in the section below on some topics that we're going to discuss here today, that we're going to cover. So look, let's get into it. Everything you need to know. Of course, we're at home in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We welcome the Baggies. Hopefully, you know, the Baggies blow off in the wind. That would be ideal. Kickoff is at 12 p.m. and you can catch that game on BT Sport 1 or Matty Hayes. Yeah. That's where you can catch the game. So look, Charlie, I have a couple of stats for you. So look, West Brom, they've won one of the last 14 away games versus Spurs in all competitions. Tottenham have lost one of the last 26 Premier League home games against promoted clubs. West Brom are winless in 11 Premier League games in London. Everything points to a Tottenham win, doesn't it?
Well, you say that, but it's never guaranteed, and we know that very, very well. But look, the stats, we've got a good record against promoted sides, especially West Brom. Look, they've been a bogey team for us. They have. The amount of 1-1 draws has been ridiculous. However, we did beat them this season. We did get that 1-0 win at the Hawthorns. However, in that game, you have to say it was a poor performance in that game. It really, really wasn't. I think we have to do a lot better tomorrow than that, because we can't. In that game, we really rode our luck. West Brom didn't threaten us enough, but we weren't threatening ourselves. So we can't ride our luck again. We have to play much, much better especially than we have been these last 3 games, because we're a disaster at the moment. I think, as Mourinho said, not winning this game is unthinkable, and that's his words as well. So, look, must win game if we want to save our Premier League season. For me, I think this is a big game for Jose's future. I do believe that if he doesn't win this, then you have to say it could be the writing on the wall for him. It really, really could. So I think it's a game which could potentially save his job if he was to win it. And that's why it's a must win game.
Yeah, it is huge in terms of our season. Look, West Brom are bottom of the table. Honestly, they're the worst Premier League team I think I've ever seen. You know what I mean? So, look, we should be beating these tomorrow. No excuses. I don't want to be going into this game any Dr. Tottenham. You know what I mean? The players need to man up now. They need to grab their cojones. They need to find their bollocks and play some football tomorrow. They need to run for the badge. If not run for Jose, at least run for the badge and the millions of fans that get up all over the world at different times and commit their time to Tottenham to watch you guys. And so just remember that when you go out there and you don't run. Like Sissoko did against Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? Inexcusable. Remember that, like the likes of Ben Davies and Eric Dyer, when you want to go out there and commit absolute crimes at the back, like you've been doing week in, week out. Do you know what I mean? Think about that. Think about all of us fans that sit there and have to watch that shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, look, West Brom, honestly, it's a game we should be winning. A lot of our fan base are calling Jose Mourinho the Portuguese Big Sam. Only time will tell. Time will tell. But tomorrow, we should be winning that game. No excuses.
Yeah.
But look, Charlie, for me, do you think that Jose just takes the shackles off, sends out 11 players and just tell them to go out and play?
I think he has to. I think, look, surely if he doesn't trust this defence to sort of go forward against West Brom, then I don't know if anything will ever change. Because look, there's no excuses. If you look at the form table, West Brom are the only team that's on worse form than we are.
Yeah.
So at the same time, this is a good fixture for us to get back to winning ways. But at the same time, it could be a banana skin. Because we know of Big Sam, he's got a result at Liverpool this season. He's got a result. I think it was him was he there against Man City? He might have been. I can't remember, but he did get that result at Liverpool, that 1-1. So they are capable of springing a sort of upset against a big team. I just feel like recently they've been horrendous. They lost to Sheffield United. They lost 5-0 to Leeds, 5-0 to Man City. Yeah. So look, surely that's all I'm going to say. Surely we have to go out there, gung ho, all out attack. And look, if we're sitting back against West Brom tomorrow, you have to ask questions of everyone, and that includes the manager. If we're sitting back against West Brom, because surely look, we've got loads of players which aren't good enough. We know that, but surely they're able to cope with what West Brom are going to throw at us. With all due respect to West Brom, by the way, surely
Look,
he has to go gung ho. And I'm telling you, if we're sitting back against West Brom, we might as well just liquidate as a club. Seriously.
Honestly, I think if Jose sits back against West Brom, it's suicide for him at Tottenham. It's suicide mission. Do you know what I mean? Look, West Brom. Look, you know they grind out the odd result, but they're not the West Brom that we all knew back in over the years where they had good players who were capable. You know what I mean? This front players like that. You know what I mean? Look, this is a spineless, weakless West Brom team. Big Sam's record is gone this season.
It's looking like for West Brom.
With teams getting relegated.
I can't really see them turning it around, to be honest. Because you look at it, Fulham and Sheffield United are sort of trying to turn sort of a corner now. And I just feel with West Brom, for whatever reason, Big Sam can't get them to do what he can with all of his other teams. Like, they're shipping goals for fun. Big Sam's teams, they never normally concede.
With Big Sam, right? He's not coming to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to win tomorrow. He's coming here to set up and take the ball. So for me, we're going to have a lot of the ball, and it's how we use it. Now, look, Sonny was very poor against Chelsea. He gave away a lot of easy passes. He has not been on form lately. He's been poor. Over on the right-hand side, it's up in the air who's going to play because they haven't been good enough. But up front, I thought Vinicius was toothless against Chelsea. People can say to me he didn't get the service. Okay, I get that. But when you don't get the service as a striker, instead of standing there on a defender to look busy and hiding, you come back, you drop deep, and you get the ball like Harry Kane has been doing in that position. Like, the guy has had so much time on the bench. Surely he's watched what Harry Kane has been doing and realised and clicked that that's how he can affect the game. Surely. So, would you start Vinicius tomorrow, or would you go with Gareth Bale up top?
I'd start Vinicius, and I'll tell you why. I think with Kane being out for this game, although there has been a few sources telling me that Kane could be involved tomorrow. There is like sort of a chance. But even so, you just can't rush him back. I wouldn't rush him back whatsoever. So, look, without Kane, you have to start Vinicius. I think, yes, you're right, against Chelsea, he was poor. However, what he did do, which is what we didn't have against Brighton in the first half, was that he was a target man. He was someone to aim for there. And he was actually winning quite a few of his flick-ons and sort of at times laying it off to sort of Son and Bergwijn, the runners there. And he did have that chance. He did have that chance at the end, which he really should have scored. So, for me, I'll definitely start him. I think he has to start. I think if we don't start him, we could be in trouble because West Brom will just clog the centre with Son there, and we'd have no threat whatsoever. So, yeah, you have to start him. He gives something extra for West Brom to think about. He can sort of hold up. Look, with him, all we're really asking for is him to just hold up the ball well, bring others into play, and make sure and create the space for Son. If he does that, for me, that's a good performance from Vinicius. If he does that. I'd start him tomorrow, 100%.
I agree. I would start Vinicius again, but I'd make it known in uncertain terms. If it's not working out by halftime, you are being hauled off. It's your 45 minutes to go out there and show to me why I've been wrong to not play it. That's the attitude I want to see, and I want to see Vinicius grab that with both hands. I really do.
So
is the guy capable? I don't think so, but we'll wait and see. He should be. He should. If he's going to last at Tottenham, he should be bagging goals against West Brom. He should be bagging goals against the baggies. It's as simple as that. Look, Charlie, the next biggest talking point is the big man child at the back, Eric Dyer. You know what I mean? He comes across all aggressive, but he just needs to be baby through games. You know what I mean? It's like he always needs someone on his shoulder saying, "No, Eric, don't dive into that tackle. Don't do this. You know, try this. Try do something." Inexcusable what he done against Chelsea. At the end of the day, he lost us the game. They offered no other threat apart from that
Cost us 12 points this season.
Who do you play in beside Toby Alderweireld? For me, I would actually like to see Tanganga given a run.
Yeah.
For me, look, I think he's the only one out of all the backline players that we have, that defenders that we have in the squad, that hasn't been given a fair crack at the whip.
Yeah.
And for me, I play him alongside Toby.
Yeah, I agree. I think for me, it's an interesting one because I put Roden alongside Toby. I think, and I'll tell you where I will fit Tanganga in a minute. But starting off with Roden, I think you've got to take Dara out. It's as simple as that. I still didn't think he should have started against Chelsea because he's cost us 12 points this season. It was another 3 against Chelsea with the most clumsy penalty I've ever seen in my life. Genuinely, he is an absolute waste of space.
He literally gave the teeny weeny and Tom Stangen the 3 points.
He did, yeah. In the end of the day, he did. And I think you take him out, you bring Roden in because Roden, he's a young player. I think, to be fair, he does work quite well with Toby because Toby does have the experience. And yes, Roden, he did extremely well against Sheffield United, who are on a similar level to West Brom. So, and he didn't make any mistakes against Sheffield United. So why not? Why not just bring him back in and see how he does again? Because could it really be any worse? Let's be honest. Could it really be any worse?
No, but my point is, in it, like, you bring in Roden, you have to accept the mistake. Now, anytime
but if you bring in Dyer, you have to accept
I don't remember him making too many mistakes that has cost us. So for me, I put him in beside Toby Alderweireld and see if it's any improvement. Honestly, I would. I think it's the game for it.
Yeah.
I know where you want to put Tanganga. You want to play him on the left back.
Yeah, I do.
I think if Dennis Sorkin is fit, I throw Dennis Sorkin in because sometimes I think you need an injection of youngsters to give the real men a kick up the arse.
So would I.
You know what I mean?
I think for me,
Arsenal done it.
Yeah, as I said, for me, if it was up to me, I'd be throwing in Devine to start this game. I'd put Scarlett up front if it was up to me. Honestly, because they'd give. Because at the end of the day, right? Yes, they're inexperienced, but could it really be any worse than what we're getting served up these last 3 games? For me, it's more likely to be better because they'd inject a bit of life, they'd inject a bit of energy. So if it was up to me, I would put Sirkin at left back, I would put Scarlett up front, I would put Devine in the attacking midfield role. However, unfortunately, I just don't see him doing that. So for me, you put Tanganga at left back. I think Davies, I've had enough of. I'm actually done with this guy. He is not part of Tottenham. He means nothing to me. I'm absolutely done with him. And that goes for a few other players as well. Genuinely, he is absolute trash. Seriously. We desperately need Reguilon back. Desperately. And the thing is with Davies, to be fair, yes, he's crap, but he's not being helped by the fact that he's having to be overplayed, which is just making him more crap than he already is. So for me, I put Tanganga in there. Just anything to take Davies out of the team. And Tanganga, at the same time, he's a young player. He'll add a bit of energy, bit of freshness, and he can, when he's on it, we saw against Middlesbrough, he can bomb up and down that left flank. So look, why not? Why not? Could it really be any worse than Davies? Just say that. Really, could it be any worse?
On Ben Davies, what I will say is, where's all them Ben Davies fans that used to say, "Oh, but he gives you a 7 out of 10 every time he plays"?
No, he gives you a 0.
Where are them fans now? Honestly,
he gives you a 1 or a 0.
He's an absolute disaster. He turns like a roundabout. He turns, honestly, right? He's so slow at turning. He turns in circles. Do you know what I mean? He gets left, run ragged left, right, and centre. You know what I mean? Half the times he's running left, he's running right, and by the time he's finished, he's dizzy and the ball's already in the back of the net.
What I'll say about Davies as well, he makes average wingers look like Messi. Genuinely. And tomorrow, West Brom have one of their best players, Pereira. Pereira, he is a good player. I'm telling you, he's a player that West Brom quite heavily rely on quite a lot, to be fair. He's a player that can produce a bit of magic. He's got a long shot in him. However, he does preferably play on the right wing for them. So him up against Davies, I have to say, I'll probably fancy Pereira. He's a good player, Pereira. He is. He's probably their main threat for tomorrow. He is a good player, Pereira. And if Davies, he's making average wingers look like Messi. So I think Pereira could give him the runaround. But Pereira, at the end of the day, he is a player which can be marked out of a game. He can be sort of physically, he's not there, Pereira, physically. So, look, I'd fancy if we could get the right players in there, like a Tanganga or something, then I do fancy we can sort of nullify him out of the game. But with Davies there, I fancy whether it's him or even Diangana. Diangana is probably a very average winger.
I think he has to face a late fitness test. They're not 100% sure whether he'll play or not.
But even so, not even Dean Garner. Who's the other guy they got? Matt Phillips. Even him as well.
Callum Robinson.
Callum Robinson, that's the one. Yeah, Callum Robinson. He's Davies can make anyone look good. He could probably make me look good up against him. Genuinely,
look, this guy got burned by Pascal Gross. Let's be honest.
That just says everything you need to know. And I'll ask you. I know it's your channel, but I just want to ask you something as well, David. Callum Robinson. Obviously, he plays for the Ireland national team. What do you make of him? Do you think he's going to be a threat for us to deal with tomorrow?
Look, Callum Robinson, you never know what you're going to get with this guy. He blows hot and cold. Some days for Ireland, he comes on, he looks great, he looks threatening, he does all the right things, cuts inside. He likes to cut inside on his right foot, have a shot. But then there's other days where, he just doesn't turn up. He's so poor. So honestly, I couldn't tell you what Callum Robinson's going to turn up tomorrow. Like I've seen him I've seen him in the Premier League so far this season. He's been absolutely fantastic in games, and then other games he's been absolutely
scored against Chelsea.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? But this is the thing. You just don't know what Callum Robinson you're going to get. But look, we've talked about the defence, we've talked about the attack. Now I do want to go into the midfield. Before I go into the midfield, I just want to give people the Tottenham team news. I presume you already know it anyway. But of course, Harry Kane is out, Dele Alli is out, Lo Celso is out, Reguilon is out. So yeah, that's the injury update. Unfortunately, it's not good news.
Nothing new.
But look, let's get into the midfield, Charlie.
Yes.
Look, Højbjerg has been fantastic this season, but the last few games he's even guilty of getting around. Now, look, I know he's played every minute, and at some stage with the amount of games we played, tiredness does come into it a bit. But he hasn't been the same the last few games. You look at Sissoko against Chelsea.
Get out,
you know what I mean?
Seriously.
No running. Instead of coming looking for the ball, he was hiding behind players.
He was just walking around Sissoko. There was no desire. There was no passion.
A tactic that Harry Winks used. Yeah, no passion by Sissoko whatsoever.
There's no desire. There's no desire to run. And even when he was on the ball, we know his technical ability is genuinely. Is there any player with a worse technical ability than him? Honestly, it's awful.
On Sissoko, he's actually been very good this season as a whole. He's been very good. Well, the Chelsea game, it's almost unforgivable to do that against Chelsea. You know what I mean? Like, that highlight reel that we seen come out about Sissoko was what we berated Ndombele for against Burnley last season. The exact same thing. And another player, Ndombele, he just hasn't been good lately either. Another player, he loses possession an awful lot. Against Chelsea, his off the ball work rate was good, but against Liverpool and Brighton, it was pure suspect. It was MIA, missing in action. We've really lacked in midfield the last few days. Last few games. No one wants to take responsibility on the ball. No one wants the ball. As soon as the ball comes into them, they just give the easy pass back to the centre back. And then it tends to find its way back to Hugo Lloris or out to Ben Davies for one of them to pump it long. The midfielders need to start taking responsibility on the ball.
2-2. 2-2. Wait, quickly, breaking news. Everton have just scored 2 goals in the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Oh, sweet.
2-2. Decore and...
It's 3-2, is it? Oh, no, it's 2-2. Oh, I'm a minute behind.
It's 2.
Sorry.
It's 2. Yeah, sorry, Carol. I just put that breaking score update. It's 2-2.
Just on Ndombele, he needs to be better as well. Look, the midfield, like what I was saying, they need to get back to what we were doing at the start of the season, where we were getting the ball, they were turning with their head up, getting quick ball over the top. It's just so slow, lethargic, simple passes, and even then, half of the simple passes aren't coming off. It's dreadful from the midfield, no?
It was dreadful, and it's unforgivable. I think Sissoko's the main one at fault here. I think the reason why you saw the likes of Højbjerg and Ndombele struggling is because normally Sissoko's there to mop up and cover for them when they sort of make a mistake and stuff in the games. But he just wasn't there doing that. That's Sissoko's main role, is just to provide aggression and energy and to mop up if there's any sort of loose pass in there from the other 2 midfielders. So look, Sissoko's the main one at fault. I think he has to be taken out of the team against West Brom. He does not deserve to be anywhere near this team. You look at Højbjerg and Ndombele. Yeah, they're our 2 best midfielders. They have to start. But you're right. they haven't been great lately, but at least what I can say is that at times, maybe not in the whole games, but at times they were trying to make things happen. Especially Ndombele. He was trying to make something happen, but he was just getting outnumbered because there was no one there to just help him and track back. So at times, I do feel he was trying to make things happen. Same with Højbjerg. He was trying. Like, he got the goal against Liverpool, for example, not so long ago. So these guys are quality. We know they're quality. When you look at Sissoko, just slouching around, walking around in a London derby, that's unforgivable. I don't even care what his technical ability is. Walking around in a London derby is unforgivable, and I'm absolutely fuming at that. Absolutely fuming. And he does not deserve to even be on the bench tomorrow. Genuinely, it was that pathetic. Walking around against Chelsea in a London derby. Do me a favour. Come on.
Yeah, being honest, after that performance, then all you can do is actually just drop him. Honestly, I would drop him for this game. I would sit there and suck the 90 minutes of Harry Winks, because at the end of the day, you have to make statements with these players. You have to hold them accountable for their actions. Like every other person in life is, you're held accountable for your actions. So why can't the players? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's as simple as that. Let's stop throwing Josie under the bus, and let's start actually having a go at these players. At the end of the day, their class should be shining through tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? They have that ex-gooner at the back, Kyle Bartley. Do you know what I mean? We should be, like, finishers should be smashing him up with a few elbows. Easy peasy. I believe Maitland-Niles could be starting for them tomorrow.
Yeah,
from Arsenal.
Arsenal's best right back. Right back.
You know what I mean? Just give him a nice crunching tackle at the start of the game. Let him know where he is and to respect Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
I think
that's what we need to do.
The
we need to get
one
teams to come here and start respecting our stadium, respecting us,
100%.
respecting our press, and that starts tomorrow.
I think the Maitland-Niles one is an interesting one because, as I said, I think he's Arsenal's best right back. And they've loaned him out. He's their best right back. He's better than Bellerin, who's absolute crap. You know what I mean? I actually think Maitland-Niles is a decent player. And they've loaned him out, and he's their best right back. So, joke's on Arsenal.
100%. 100%. But look, lad, honestly, I can only see a win for us tomorrow. We're going to get into some score prediction. But before we do, actually, I've noticed that I've stopped calling these players by the nicknames I made up for them. And do you know why? Because they don't deserve it. Ndombele is no more until he proves it. Pierre-Emile Brickhouse is no more until he proves it. Sonaldo is no more until he proves it. Moussa Sissoko Train is definitely parked up right now, out of action, out of use. You know what I mean? These nicknames are not coming back out until they warrant them again. So let's all start calling them by their proper names now. No more nicknames until they deserve it. At the end of the day, they have to get the respect to get these nicknames and to get our love again. Look, Charlie, so we're going to go into score predictions. I'm going to go Tottenham 3-0. I firmly believe that it's going to come a time where we have to keep a clean sheet, and that team is going to be on the back end of our poor run and get an absolute hiding. And hopefully it's the baggies. Hopefully they come up to White Hart Lane and Tottenham Hotspur Stadium with extra baggage. Hopefully it weighs them down, and then hopefully we can just absolutely rip them asunder, go absolutely buckeye on them tomorrow, go and get 3 goals and prove that we can get this all back on track, get a good run of form going for this Carabao Cup final that's coming up. Let's do this. 3-0 Tottenham. I don't want any excuses tomorrow.
Look, David, I love your optimism, mate. I wish I could have some of what you're having. But look, for me, I think it's going to be a bore fest. I think it's going to be such a boring game. Mourinho, Big Sam, both sides on terrible form, just scrapping for every little thing. I do think we'll nick this one. I do think we'll nick it 2-1. I feel it will be a scrappy game. I feel it will be boring. I feel like it will be close. I feel like it will be nervy. But I do fancy us to nick it. I think quality should hopefully, fingers crossed, it's a big if, by the way. Fingers crossed should hopefully get us enough in this game to see out the 3 points. And look, I said it. I do feel West Brom might get a goal just because I have no hope in this defence whatsoever. It's as simple as that. I just cannot predict us to get a clean sheet at all. It's been that bad lately. So yeah, I'm predicting 2-1 Tottenham. I think we'll nick it. I think quality will come out at the end and we'll nick this one. But for me, look, I don't care how we do it. We just, whether it's an own goal off Maitland-Niles' arse, I don't even care. Just get the 3 points over the line and get us a win to hopefully start something Doesn't matter how we do it. Just give us that extra bit of confidence, and hopefully to keep Jose in his job, which for me, I'm sure everyone knows me and David's thoughts on Jose. We share a very, very similar opinion. Jose is not the problem at this club. It's the board. So, Jose, get that win tomorrow. And I just hope that you can stay in your job, because you're not the problem. Jose is not the problem. It's the players, the board. And I hope tomorrow the players don't let him down, because tomorrow I think we'll see a massive, we'll have some answers tomorrow of who cares, who wants to play for the manager, who wants to make sure we can get our season back on track. I think tomorrow we'll have a much clearer idea of who cares tomorrow. So look, I think we'll nick this one 2-1. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, tomorrow's a day full of questions. May as well be an episode of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and hopefully Tottenham can answer every single one of them questions. Look, for me, all I say to them Jose out fans is that if we end up with Eddie Howe, right?
No, please.
No, hear me out, right? It's not going to be any better, but I don't want to see them fans crying when we end up with Eddie Howe. I want them to sit there and enjoy every minute of Eddie Howe. That's what I want them to do, because that's what's going to happen, right? Honestly. So you fans, don't go on to any other channels crying because Eddie Howe is not howling anymore. Do you know what I mean? You sit there and you enjoy every minute of what you wish. You sit there and you enjoy every minute. But look, we're going to smash the baggies tomorrow. We're going to absolutely rip through them. We're going to tear them up. They're going to come down to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They're going to know they're in a game. We're going to win big tomorrow. We're going to go out with a big mentality. We're going to answer all of Charlie's questions. A big thank you to everyone out there for the 1K subs. In Jose we trust.
Come on, you Spurs. In Jose we trust.
Celebrate the 1K. Thank you.
Come on, you Spurs. Enoch out. Joe Lewis out.